Welcome to this Early Years Entitlements Guide. This guide is on how to check a working parent eligibility code using the Early Years Entitlements Hub. With a valid eligibility code, working parents may be able to access 15 hours of funded childcare from the term after their child reaches the age of eligibility. This could be 15 hours from the term after the child reaches 9 months old, 15 hours from the term after the child reaches their second birthday, or an additional 15 hours childcare in addition to the 15 universal hours for all children in the term after their third birthday. This would give the parents a total of 30 hours of funded childcare. There is also tax-free childcare for working parents to help them save money on their childcare costs. Further information can be found on the Lincolnshire County Council website, www.lincolnshire.gov.uk/funded childcare, or you can direct the parents to the Childcare Choices website, www.childcarechoices.gov.uk. Working parent eligibility codes are 11-digit numeric codes. They normally begin with 501, 502 or 503. If you have been given a code beginning 40, this means that the child is looked after by a local authority and the code has manually been provided to a social worker. This code will also need renewed every 3 months. If a parent provides you with a code beginning 1, this is a temporary code issued by HMRC. This code will need to be updated on the hub when you get the permanent code from the parent. If a parent gives you a 6-digit alphanumeric code, this is normally the code for 2-year-old funding for families in receipt of additional government support. This is not a working parent code and you should refer to the video to add a disadvantaged 2-year-old to your claim. Log on to the EYE Claims Hub using your secure username and password. When you log in, you will be taken directly to the home page. To validate a working parent code, go to the Funding tab. Here, you will be able to access the eligibility checker to validate working family codes. The eligibility checker on the Funding tab is a live checker. It allows you to validate new working family codes when they've been added to a parent declaration form. You can check at any stage to see if the code is eligible. Also, once a child has been added to your claim, you can use this at any stage to check if the code has been renewed. Input the information provided on the parent declaration form. Any fields marked with an asterisk are mandatory. The information required to do an eligibility check is the eligibility code, the child's date of birth and the parent's national insurance number. Click to consent to an eligibility check and then hit the Submit button. As well as using the eligibility checker to check whether a code's valid, you can also check it while adding the child to your claim. To add a child for working parent entitlements, go to the Funding tab. Select the month in which you wish to add the child and select the cohort of children you wish to add the child to. To add a working parent child, select Add Child. Complete the child details based on the information provided on the parent declaration form. Go to the Parent Carer Details tab and input the parent's information, including name, date of birth and national insurance number. Tick to give consent for an eligibility check for early years pupil premium and working family eligibility. Once you have completed the Child Details tab and the Parent Details tab, please go to the Funding Details tab. Here you will be able to add the working family funding. If the child has not yet reached the term after their third birthday, you will be able to claim expanded hours. Input the number of expanded hours you wish to claim and the eligibility code. Click on Check Eligibility Code, and if the family is eligible, a tick will appear in the Eligible for Expanded Hours box. If the child has reached the term after their third birthday, you will be able to claim extended funding. This is the 15 hours in addition to the universal funding available for all children the term after their 3rd birthday. Input the Working Parent Eligibility Code, click Eligibility Code, and if the family is eligible, a tick will appear in the Eligible for Extended Hours box. Once you've received the green box which confirms a positive determination of eligibility, please check the valid dates. The start date is the date in which the parent was made eligible by HMRC. This is the date their code was issued. Each term there is a deadline. In order to access in the summer term, codes must be issued before the 31st of March. In order to access in the autumn term, the code start date must be before the 31st of August. And in order to access in the spring term from January, the code must be issued before the 31st of December. If the parent has not got their code before that date, they will not be able to access funded childcare until the term after. The code end date is the deadline for which the parent has to reconfirm their code. This is when their eligibility ends. HMRC will send parents a reminder, normally 4 weeks before, 2 weeks before, and on the end date. If they don't renew or have been unable to reconfirm eligibility, they will then enter their grace period. The grace period is there to support families previously deemed eligible and their child is already accessing working parent entitlements. A child cannot start to claim their working parent entitlements or move providers when they are in the grace period. Providers are able to log on to the EYE Hub at any point and check the child's start date, end date and whether they're in the grace period. If providers go to the Funding tab and the Actuals page, they will see the child record. Next to the child record at the eligibility status, they will find the start date of the code, the end date of the code, and when the grace period is. If the child is currently in their grace period, a yellow warning triangle will appear on the left-hand side. This is a prompt for providers to speak to parents and encourage them to renew their code before the end of the grace period. If you have any questions about working parent eligibility codes, please contact the Early Years Entitlements team at eye@lincolnshire.gov.uk.